Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the part number three of our exploration into the origins of humanity. The part number three is named Alternative Theories about Human Origins. In the previous segments, we delved into the mysterious ancient structures, the spiritual divide described through the Great Flood, and the story of Enoch, examined the potential knowledge lost due to catastrophic events such as the Great Flood and the Younger Dryas impact. And we have highlighted the technological enigma surrounding the construction of the Great Pyramid, and also a theory about its construction. Now, as you see my screen, we turn our attention to the aftermath of these world-changing events and their lasting impact on human civilization. In this part, we will explore the Sumerian civilization, a pre- and post-flood mystery. So when we say Sumerian civilization, we're referring to the Mesopotamian civilization. So that is encompassing multiple, periods, pre-flood and post-flood. The Anunnaki connection and mythology, we'll explain about the Anunnaki connection, what's coming from, what is the reasoning. And also in third, we'll look into was the Mesopotamian and Sumerian connection with Anunnaki. Was this the only one? Or do we have other extraterrestrial, connections with other regions? And we'll see that there are several, accounts of connections with extraterrestrial civilizations. As we embark on this journey, remember that while these ideas challenge conventional history, they offer a thought-provoking perspective of on our shared past. So let's be careful and let's take a step back as well. So let's dive in and continue our quest to unravel the mysteries of human origins and to look at different alternatives and theories that could explain, where we're coming from. Okay, guys, let's start with the section one, the Sumerian civilizations, pre and post flood civilizations, because we'll talk about the two aspects. So Zecharia Sitchin's work, as you can see, the book right there, the 12th planet. It's my old version because I've got it for quite some time, but basically it's a book. It's falling apart. The 12 planets, and there's also another book called Cosmos, so the universal code, where you wanna translate that in English. So sometimes when the book is not available in one language, I'm using the other. So but I'm generally it allows me to find whatever I want. So the Zecharia Sitchin's work suggests that the Sumerian or Mesopotamian civilizations dates back 500,000 years ago, and they have interacted with an extraterrestrial race called the Anunnaki. According to this theory, the Anunnaki genetically engineered modern humans for labor purposes. So when we say genetically engineered modern humans, it means that supposedly, they used an early version of the humans, the Homo habilis or Homo erectus, and genetically engineered them to turn them into the modern humans as we are. I know this is shocking for those who believe in God, as I do, and I do believe in a creation as well, but I will explain that in more details. And do not be shocked. I'm not saying that God doesn't exist. Not at all. On the contrary. But this is interesting to understand where this is coming from. Okay. Now, according to the legend, the Anunnaki came from a planet named Nibiru that has a long elliptical revolution around the sun. This planet is often associated with the current research of Planet X in our solar system. Indeed, there's a planet that is apparently not visible and has a certain gravitational pull on Saturn, and astronomers can't explain why this gravitational pull. So they suggest that it would be there could be a planet that we don't necessarily see that will be the planet X, and some people or some alternate theorists suggest that it could be Nibiru. This narrative attempts to explain the rapid advancement of human civilization. With pre-flood civilizations, this might explain the mysterious capabilities of achieving ancient monuments, as we saw in part number 1, such as the Great Pyramid, Puma Punku, and plenty others, like say Waman, the Temple of Jupiter, with Baalbek, and the certain increase in brain size. Yes, we can't account at the moment. Scientists can't account why the human brain size augmented so dramatically in a short period of time. However, it is important to note that these claims are not necessarily supported by archaeological or genetic evidence accepted by the scientific community. But why the Anunnaki interest then? Because the Anunnaki interest is mentioned everywhere. So why the deep interest into that question? So this is what we'll see in section 2. But now, guys, let's tackle the section 2. What's the Anunnaki's connection and its mythology? So the Anunnaki connection story, it's based on the ancient aliens theories and the work provided by Zecharia Sitchin, also Eric von Daniken, all these people that are also promoting that vision and theories. Okay. It proposes an intriguing alternative to human origins. According to this narrative, the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings from a planet called Nibiru, as I was saying in section 1, which allegedly has an elongated 3,600-year orbit around our sun. About 500,000 years ago, these advanced aliens came to Earth with a specific mission: to mine gold. The Anunnaki, facing a crisis on their own planet due to a failing atmosphere, discovered that gold particles could be used to repair it. They established bases on Earth and began extensive mining operations on the planet, especially in South Africa. So this is why you heard, I'm sure, some speculations about hundreds of thousands of gold mining operations dated from 100 to 200,000 years ago. Initially, the Anunnaki performed the mining labor themselves. However, finding the work too difficult and too tiring, they decided to create a worker race. Using genetic engineering, they combined their own DNA, that of a primitive hominid like Homo erectus or Homo habilis, to create modern humans as we are. This theory suggests that human civilization were jump-started or kick-started by Anunnaki's intervention. The sudden emergence of complex societies, very advanced knowledge, and sophisticated technologies in ancient Sumeria or ancient Mesopotamia is attributed to direct Anunnaki's influence. The Anunnaki allegedly ruled over early human civilization for thousands of years, being perceived as gods by their creations. Ancient texts and artifacts are interpreted as evidence of the presence and advanced technology, including references to flying vehicles and sophisticated knowledge of astronomy. Proponents of this theory argue that many ancient structures, like the pyramids and others, were built using Anunnaki technology or knowledge. They also suggest that the Anunnaki return might be imminent, potentially aligning with significant dates in various calendars. While these ideas are fascinating, it is crucial to note that they are not accepted by mainstream science or archaeology. The Anunnaki theory remains a controversial alternative interpretation on ancient history and human origins. With all these speculations, and with all these beliefs and supposedly true proofs that exist, how much of that is supported by proven elements? How much of that can be actually substantiated by physical or materials that could be used to prove that theory and also this belief. So you will see that in section number 3. Okay, guys, let's continue on section 3. Was the Sumerian or Mesopotamian connection with extraterrestrials or with Anunnaki the only one? It exists connection to extraterrestrial beings or advanced civilization in multiple regions, and it's not limited to Sumerian or Mesopotamian cultures. Several other ancient cultures have similar narratives. First of all, we can name the Dogon. The Dogon tribe is located in Mali, in Africa. I'm also from Africa, but there's nothing in Cameroon. I'm sure there must be something in Cameroon. In any case, this is a Dogon tribe in Mali. The Dogon claim that their astronomical knowledge comes from contact with beings called nomos from the Sirius star system. So interestingly speaking, they possessed detailed knowledge about Sirius B, a companion star invisible to the naked eye, long before its scientific discovery. So they were aware of Sirius B existence before it was discovered by scientists, by mainstream scientists. Interesting, isn't it? The Inca civilization, South America. Viracocha, the supreme creator god of the Incas, is sometimes interpreted as an extraterrestrial visitor. According to legend, Viracocha emerged from Lake Titicaca, created the world, and then departed across the Pacific Ocean, promising to return. Japanese mythology. The kami in Japanese mythology shares some similarities with the Anunnaki concept. Both are portrayed as powerful, often anthropomorphic looking human beings with supernatural abilities who interact with and influence human affairs. Australian Aboriginal mythology. Many Aboriginal creation stories involve celestial beings or sky heroes who came to Earth and shaped the landscape. These narratives often include references to stars and constellations. Also, something very interesting related to the section 2. So now let's talk about the ancient mining shafts that were found in South Africa. As I said before, when the Anunnaki came, they wanted to mine gold, and to find gold, they were concentrating their effort apparently in South Africa. And in South Africa, very old, ancient mining shaft were found over there. So the depth, some ancient mines in South Africa, particularly in areas like Mupum, have indeed been found to reach depths of around 100 feet, around 30 meters or even more. But with technologies that we use to do the shaft that are inconsistent, even with our capabilities today, or inconsistent with what the ancient civilization was supposedly capable of doing. Age. Some of these mines are estimated to be up to 200,000 years old, which is indeed far older than conventional historical timelines suggest for such advanced mining. Complexity. These mines show evidence of complex engineering, including spiral stairways, a ventilation shaft, and diverse chambers. Tool marks. Some shafts show evidence of smooth walls with tool marks, suggesting advanced mining techniques. Lack of explanation. The mainstream archaeology struggles to fully explain how these mines were created with the technology believed to be available at the time. And mainstream, archaeology don't want to talk about this. This is totally silent. Nobody talk about the ancient mine shafts, the ancient mines, gold mines that were found, and they were finding, they were estimating these to be extremely old. It is interesting to point out that these deep ancient mines are not widely discussed in mainstream archaeology. The depth and complexity of these minds do challenge our understanding of ancient technological capabilities. This could be seen as evidence supporting the theory of more advanced ancient civilization, possibly predating known historical records, totally aligned with the pre-flood civilizations. However, the lack of discussion in mainstream circles is likely due to the difficulty of reconciling these findings with the current archaeological paradigm, rather than a deliberate attempt to suppress information. Yes, this is some kind of the embarrassment of not proving or explaining these details. They prefer to left them, silent instead of talking about them. One of the most fascinating accounts is the story of the Hopi Indians. The Hopi Indians indeed have significant connection to extraterrestrial beings in their traditions and beliefs. The Orion Belt, the Hopi's three primary mesas in northern Arizona, are said to represent the Orion Belt. They believe this location allowed them to make contact with the gods. If you remember correctly, there's a theory, somewhat the three pyramid of Giza are actually aligned with the Orion Belt, and the three stars representing the Orion constellation. Now, second, about the Hopi Indians, star origins. The Hopi say the first home was in the Pleiades constellation, which they refer as Chuukon. Masao. Hopi mythology speaks of a creator god named Masao, described as having large round eyes, a round mouth, and a big bulbous head. Some interpret this as a description of an extraterrestrial being. Guided migration. Hopi legends tell of following a moving star that guiding them to build their villages, which some interpret as a possible extraterrestrial craft that were used by extraterrestrial to tell them where to implement, their villages. The Blue Star Kashina prophecy. An ancient Hopi prophecy states that when the blue star Kashina, associated with the star Sirius, appears in the heavens, it will signal the emergence of the fifth world. Ongoing contact. Some researchers believe that the Hopi, along with other Native American tribes, maintain contacts with beings from other realms or dimensions. This is really speculative, but I'm just sharing with you, what people are saying about the Hopi Indian and the cosmology and prophecies. These connections form a significant part of Hopi cosmology and prophecies. Although it is important to note that mainstream science interpret these as mythology rather than historical accounts, but it doesn't explain how these, Indian tribe or the Dogon tribe knew the existence of Sirius B or certain constellations that were only like the Pleiades. They were discovered recently, and then the Hopi Indians knew already the existence. These cross-cultural similarities in mythologies involving beings from the sky or space have led some researchers to propose the ancient alien theory. However, it's important to note that mainstream archaeology and anthropology generally interpret these stories as mythology rather than historical accounts or extraterrestrial contact. It is important to note as well that the connections between ancient structures, advanced technologies, and extraterrestrial theories are indeed intriguing when considered collectively as a sum of information. Several aspects contribute to this fascination. First of all, unexplained technological advancement. Many ancient structures exhibit precision and complexity that challenge our understanding of historical capabilities. The Great Pyramid of Giza, as we've talked in part number 1 and 2, for instance, demonstrates advanced engineering techniques and precise alignment with celestial bodies, due to this alleged, alignment with the Orion constellation. Artifacts ahead of their time. Discoveries like the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek analog computer, or the mysterious man-made cave of Longueuil showcase sophisticated knowledge of astronomy and mechanics that seem out of place of the era. Nonetheless, yes, the Greek, managed to invent the first computer, but at the same time, you will see, as you can see, Longueuil, subterranean, complex. It's very impressive. Cross-cultural similarities. Various ancient cultures worldwide have myth and artifact suggesting advanced knowledge of extraterrestrial contact, including the Dogon tribe, the Inca civilization, and Hopi Indians, without even talking, of the Mesopotamian civilization. Unexplained construct methods. Some ancient sites feature stonework and construction techniques that remain difficult to replicate, even with modern technology. To me, it is almost impossible to replicate. For example, the precise stone cutting and fitting at sites like Puma Punku, as you saw in part number one, it is very, very impressive and challenging conventional explanations. Ancient text and depictions. Many cultures have records or artworks that some interpret as describing advanced technology or extraterrestrial visitors. However, it is crucial to note that mainstream archaeology and science offer alternative explanation for many of these phenomena. For instance, recent studies suggest the use of ramps and possibly hydraulic lift in pyramid construction. Possibly, but we can't find any proof of that neither. Additionally, experts often emphasize human ingenuity and the gradual development of technology over time as explanation for ancient achievements. Yeah, but it doesn't explain, the precise stone cutting, and neither the complexity of the Great Pyramid. Even today, we wouldn't be able to replicate that with our modern technology. So how to explain that 2,000 or 5,000 or more, even hundreds of thousands of years ago, it doesn't explain how. Today, we don't have the explanation. So it comes to pre-flood civilizations way more advanced than what we can believe today, or as alternative theories suggest, the extraterrestrial connections remain, yes, a possibility, but a controversial one, an unproven theory. The undeniable complexity and sophistication of many ancient structures continue to inspire research and debate about the capabilities of our ancestors. Now, conclusion to part 3. What can we say for the conclusion? I know this is highly debatable and highly speculative, what I've been talking about for a time. But for the conclusion, what can we say? As we've explored the alternative stories about human origins from the Sumerian, Mesopotamian civilization, and Anunnaki theories to global myths of extraterrestrial intervention, we are left with more questions than answers. Like in part number 1 and part number 2, there's always more questions than answers. Unfortunately, I can't provide any clear-cut answers. The enigmatic nature of ancient structures, the puzzling depth of prehistoric minds, and the cross-cultural narrative of sky beings all challenge our conventional understanding of human history, especially the notion of this gradual evolution of humans. That I will challenge in part number 4. While mainstream science offers explanation for many of these phenomena, the persistence of unexplained elements in our past continues to fuel alternative theories. The similarities in mythologies across disparate cultures, coupled with archaeological anomalies, suggest that our history might be more complex, way more complex than we currently understand. However, it is crucial to approach these theories with critical thinking and an open mind. While they offer intriguing possibilities, they often lack the rigorous evidence required by a scientific standard. But even on the mainstream science side, they don't offer, solid proofs about what they're saying. Yet they encourage us to question all these possibilities. Encourage us to question, explore, and seek a deeper understanding of our origins. And this is why I'm doing this video. It's not to push my own view into it. It's really to share the number of elements that exist that could potentially explain or try to provide answers about these mysteries. As we conclude this part of our journey, we are reminded that the story of human origins is far more from complete. The mysteries surrounding our DNA and our innate connection to cosmic rhythms, as explored in our upcoming part 4, may shed further light on the true nature of our existence and our place in the universe. Our exploration continues as we delve deeper into the very essence of what makes us human and possibly what connects us to the cosmos or to the universe. So I'll see you in part number 4 next week, Tuesday. Thank you.